I'm worried about you. He goes, why? And I said, because I'm you. I understand that. I had to learn how to say, I'm sorry. And I screwed up. Because that wasn't, when I got into recovery, I was the family hero. If I couldn't blame you or somebody else or run away, I didn't know what to do. Okay, I didn't know how to say I just screwed up. I mean, even to this day, I hate that. You know? And my brother, he was the scapegoat. He goes, I don't care. I screwed up, so what? Yeah, I'm used to it. Okay.
Is there more than, I just have a question. Is there more than 4 of those?
We're usually a blend of some of these.
Okay.
Okay. We can tend to,
Curious.
yeah. Those are the one that she identified as the most prevalent. Okay. Okay. We either become alcoholics, marry them, or both. So, you know, you can say that, like I said, I'd never drink like my dad. I'll never be an alcoholic like my dad. And then one day my sponsor looked at me and he goes, you know, you're worse than your dad, right? I'll kill you. What? He goes, oh, you're much worse. Your dad was upfront about it, Chris. He just didn't care who he hurt. And he would tell you he was going to hurt you. You're charming. You're like Ted Bundy. He said, you're a very charming alcoholic and addict with that personality. You suck people in and then you stab them and then you just take what you want and then you go. And then they're going, did I just get screwed? With no lube. Right? And that's what my sponsor said to me. That's what he said to me, right? I just said, he was very gruff, okay? And he said, but that's you, Chris. And then they walk away going, what just happened? Because you're smooth. Okay? But I came by it honestly, right? Had to develop that. We live life from the viewpoint of victims, and we're attracted by that weakness in our love and friendship relationships. So we tend to be victims who tend to marry either people that are very dominating or we become the abusers ourselves. We tend to be very controlling. We marry controlling people too. Remember, Buddha said you marry the mirror reflection of yourself. You just act it out differently. Overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and so we focus on other people. In other words, adult children of alcoholics give loyalty where it's not due. They give loyalty to people that don't deserve it. They accept a lot of unacceptable behavior because it's their normal. And my sponsor and I used to say, Chris, we gotta lower your tolerance level. You know, like, I remember my dad would call on the phone when I was like in early recovery and scream and yell, and I'd be sitting there trying to talk to him, right? But Dad, I'm in recovery, I'm doing this, I'm doing whatever. And my sponsor said, you know you can hang up, right? I went, what? I didn't know you could hang up the phone on people screaming and yelling and calling you names and being mean to you. I mean, that wasn't my normal. I wasn't trained that way, right? I was like, wow. Like, I had to be told that because it wasn't even my thinking. Okay, because I was just trained to accept unacceptable behavior. Okay, and I was like, click. But the first time I did it, I thought lightning was going to strike, like God was going to, like, strike me dead or something. But it didn't happen, okay? We feel guilty sticking up for ourselves. Adult children become addicted to excitement. And that's just because there's a lot of drama around chaos. Okay, we know how to do drama and chaos and things. And my sponsor always said, you know, Chris, when you start dating and if the person, there's a lot of drama and there's like fireworks and it's really big at the beginning, just think 2 words, personality disorder. That person probably has a personality disorder. They're not healthy. You know, you need to find somebody stable. And I thought, well, stable seems boring. He goes, no, stable is just stable. Okay. He said, you know, because we know how to do drama and excitement. We function in that, okay? We don't know how to just go through life just, peaceful and quiet. And, you know, they all said, you know, you're actually getting healthy in recovery when you can sit by yourself and just be quiet. And you don't need a lot of busyness and noise around you and people and all this. You don't have to be going to do something. You can just sit. Is when you actually know you're getting healthy. So.
I was already Kelly out, and that was one of the main peeves with me because I can sit and by myself and tune out and be comfortable. I'm not thinking about drinking or committing crimes. Nothing. That's how I had 7 brothers and sisters. I grew up around a lot of noise. I learned at an early age how to tune stuff out and be happy with just being me, being by myself. But they told me, you're not healthy. You're not recovering because you're isolated.
Oh, well, I mean, again, there's a balance with it, right? It's all about balance and recovery. We do have to like go ask people to help us learn how to be in recovery. We have to show up, right? Because like my sponsor never called me in the 24 years before he died, right? He was my sponsor for the first 24 years of my recovery. He said, you have to show up and ask for help, Chris. And he said, but some people are just introverts where they're more comfortable just being by themselves, and that's okay as long as you know the balance of not pulling away when you need help.
And you could save me 9 months.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's a balance with that. And other people need people to feel energized and feel good, and they're extroverts, right? They just like people around, and they feel actually more comfortable that way. That is not me. I don't like big crowds. Never been that way. So introverts are people who get energized being by themselves. We have to make ourselves go to meetings.
That's not bad.
And there are other people that have to work hard just to like get quiet time. We all have a challenge with that one way. It's about the balance with it. Okay, and am I isolating because I don't want to deal with myself or other issues I got going on? It all comes down to motivation, right? Like I used to say to my sponsor, can you go to a bar when you're like a restaurant that serves alcohol in early recovery? He goes, what's your motivation for going? Yeah.
When I was growing up, or back in the 70s, whatever, actually this introverted was considered not good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
was a bad word.
Exactly.
Oh, he's just introverted.
Yeah.
What are you saying? It's a normal thing? Or?
Yeah, there's a difference between asocial, where you just like can't function and you're socially and you're socially inept and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, that's socially inept. That's more asocial, where you just like being around people at all is just so uncomfortable. An introvert, here's the clinical definition. Okay, an introvert is a person that gets energized being by themselves. They need to be alone to energize, and they just feel, oh, I feel I can refresh, and I can, but and when they get in crowds, they can do it for a little while, but they start to feel depleted. Oh, this is sucking my energy, okay? Extroverts are people that get energized in a crowd. Ooh, this is great, hey, yeah, I love all these people around this, I like all this energy and everything like that, and when they're by themselves, they feel depleted. Oh, it's kind of boring, I'm just here, and I'm whatever, just, I like that. As you see, and I'm a total introvert. I can just be by me all day, and I just,
So there's really
I feel, no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a personality type.
When I work environment, I prefer to do it alone.
Yeah.
And I accomplish a hell of a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you can know. That's how you can know you're an introvert or an extrovert. If you like to either work or like if you like to, I like to work out a lot, right? So I hate working out with a workout buddy. I don't understand people that need a workout buddy to work. They piss me off because they don't work out like I do, and they're not as intense and focused. And I grew up very disciplined with that, and just like, oh, you're slowing me down, man. Okay, I just. I'm autonomous. I'm self-motivated that way. Okay? I've always had jobs where I didn't have people hanging over me, like a supervisor, boss right there. That would irk me. Other people are perfectly great with, hey, loves whatever. They like that whole big factory environment is what I call that. Let's all work together. Let's do that. And I go, oh, that would drive me insane. I couldn't handle that. That's just personality type. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, well, back then, it was stigma.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Considered an outcast, antisocial, all that shit.
Yeah.
Meds are available in the office.
Yeah.
Meds are available
And
in
think
the office.
asocial, not antisocial. Asocial, just having a hard time with that, okay? All right, so anyway, like, you can look through some more of these here, okay? Main thing about ACOA people is that if you have children, they're gonna look for one parent to get healthy. Kids always gravitate toward mental health, always, because they just want one parent to show up for them, right? You can get healthy no matter what any other grown-up in your life does. And they always come to that because they can feel that you're available for them finally. And getting equipped to be with your kids and to be able to like tune into them and just be able to pay attention to their feelings And when we get into the discussion about communication and about feelings and like how to actually approach your children, that when they come to you and say, I don't like this, I don't like what you did, I don't like whatever, that you can actually have the tools to be able to sit down and say something and go, tell me all about it. Wow. We have the active listening skills, assertive communication, the reflective skills to help them be able to just talk about what they're feeling without fixing them, right? Kids don't want to be fixed. Pisses kids off. Kids don't want to be fixed, they just want to be heard. Right? Even adults, right? Yeah, you ever been pissed off if someone told you to cheer up? Yeah.
Real brief. I know these guys are gonna leave.
That's okay.
Is this normal? Is this healthy? My 15-year-old son gets my truck and he goes, guess what, Dad? Well, buddy, I got laid last night. Is that normal? He says, I got laid last night. I said, well, did you use a condom? He goes, of course. I mean, it blew me. It almost blew me out the other side of the truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now my 19-year-old's talking to me like a man. Now I'm ashamed, man. She was fat and ugly, Dad. True story. He said this to me the other day, and I said, man, how do you feel about that? You know, what is that normal between father and son?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think that learning the skill about just being able to like be honest with them about where we're coming from too. That's scary to hear. You're 15 and you're already sexually active.
Yes, it's scary as hell.
Yeah, and you know what? We have to role model that for our kids, that it's okay to be there. Because there are healthy fears in life to have, right? Healthy fear is just being cautious. And there are healthy fears of a 15-year-old becoming a dad, okay? Getting something, because you can die today from sex, you know? Yeah, but you know what? Most kids are pretty well informed today. They get a lot more education, a lot more exposed than we are, but they're not taught about the feeling part about that. And what's the motivation behind healthy sexuality really, okay? And then also, as your father, it's scary to hear this. It's scary to hear this, okay? Ooh, you know what? There goes a lot of you, like, because you know, once you take the jar off that cookie jar, that ain't going back on, right? That's a loss right there.
Yeah.
You know what? We're never going back to that place again before that happened with this kid. So getting down to the nuts and bolts about, like, you know, what are your bottom lines with that with your kids? You know what? It's like, I would prefer that you not. But if you're already open to that, how do we keep you safe? You got to start knowing bottom lines and things like that. So one of the things is, as we get into like learning about unnatural feelings and natural feelings, if you can speak your natural feelings about any situation with your kids or anybody, it'll drive them to what they need and what you need too. So it's a skill we have to get in recovery. Yeah, so we're going to work on that too. Because that's pretty big, man. That's a big statement.